Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Daniel, and welcome to Severed Arm Productions. This is the first video on this new YouTube channel, and I thought I would start things off with a good old-fashioned manga haul. This is everything that I have gotten from the months of February and March, and I know what you might be thinking, it's like already halfway through April. Why are you just now showing off all this February and March stuff? And well, I guess it's just kind of partly because I'm kind of lazy, but partly also because I wanted to wait for some stuff to come into the mail. And the main reason is because all of this stuff was just got in a good variety of ways. I got some good deals on this stuff, and I just kind of wanted to show off just all the different ways that you can buy manga. In case you're like a new collector who's looking to get into the stuff, but doesn't know how to find, the greatest deals out there. So just, wanted to give little tips through that. I've been collecting manga for about a year and a half. I started reading manga back in high school, with Death Note. That was just the one series I read back then, back in like 2010, 2011. Read through Death Note, really liked it, but ended up just finishing up with the anime. But then about a couple of years ago, I just finally got into Attack on Titan, finished up the third season, got to the end of that, and realized how far ahead the manga was from the anime, so I thought, might as well get back into manga with Attack on Titan, and did that, got all up to date with that, then just, it's like, oh, I like this series, what else is out there? So I read through Dragon Ball just to kind of get that nostalgia, then I read through Naoki Urasawa's Monster, and just so on, and now it's like, no, it's something that I've really come to like over this past year and a half. It's just a really cool art form, really nice storytelling, and plus they just kind of look nice. So yeah, just wanted to show off all this stuff that I got from February and March and tell you guys how I got it and how you guys can pick up the same kind of deals that I did. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so what we got here is all the stuff that I picked up from Amazon from the past couple months haul. And you can see here it's just Goodnight Poon Poon 3 through 7, Volume 1 of the 20th Century Perfect Edition, and Remina by Junji Ito. So, yeah, I picked up Goodnight Poon Poon because I found the first 2 volumes of it, very luckily, found them in my used bookstore for $10 each. And I never really knew too much about Goodnight Poon Poon before going into it. I just knew it as the series that has the really colorful spines that interconnect that I always see on every other collector's shelves. And it always kind of caught my eye, but I just never really was too sure what it was. But then when I found the books in my used bookstore, kind of flipped through that and just picked those up and started reading those, and I don't know, I just fucking fell in love with it instantly. It's becoming like my favorite manga of all time right now. I just love the art style. I love how unique the paneling is. Just everything about it. It's just so unique of its, like just from compared to the stuff that I read, it's just so different, and that's what I just really love about it. It's just got a really dark and like touching story with just Poon Poon, who's just this social reject who's got depression and anxiety and stuff, and it just like really like, I just finished up volume 4, and I'm about to start on 5, 6, 7, and 8, and yeah, after volume 4, it's just like, it's just so good and just so relatable. Just like it really just captures that just kind of feel of real life pretty well, and just the artwork of it is just stunning. It's just like some of the best artwork I've ever seen. I know like some of it's like done kind of digitally, but it's all cool and shit. And it's just like one of those kind of mangas that's like you can't even imagine how it would look if it was adapted into an anime. It's just like impossible to adapt. So that's what I really like about that series. So just wanted to show those off, and I just wanted to also mention that Goodnight Poon Poon Volume 3 is completely MIA. It is not on RightStuff, it's not on anywhere else, and the Amazon link to it is just, the Amazon just says currently unavailable because they don't even have any third-party sellers selling this volume right here. I got very, very lucky and got it back in February for $20 from a third-party seller. He's selling it $20 with free shipping, which looking back on it now, that's like a hell of a good deal, because right after I got mine, the Amazon ran out of stock, and just all the third-party sellers just jumped their prices up to like $35 and $40, and I'm so glad I got this when I did, because I don't like supporting scalpers, and hopefully this comes back in print. It's like, it's got to come back in print. This is such a good series. They can't just ended off like that with just Volume 3 disappearing. Because that was kind of the deal with 20th Century Boys, that I wanted to kind of get this series, but Amazon just didn't have it in stock for the longest time. Until just recently, I guess they did a new printing of these books, and like every place got every volume back in stock. So I decided to get Volume 1 because I was ordering some other stuff off of Amazon at the time, and just kind of want to throw that in there with the rest of the stuff I was ordering. It wasn't like the best deal in the world. It was still like $17, which is kind of just like standard. You get these for like $15 on RightStuff. But these, the rest of these Goodnight Poon Poons, I got a decent deal on, because Amazon's kind of weird with their prices. Where like some books will be like $20 or $21, but then some will be like $18 or something. Like Volume 5, I think, was just randomly $18. So it's like, I don't know how they do their pricing. Like some volumes are more expensive than the others. It's kind of weird, but if you keep vigilant, you can find good deals. Like what I did with Remina. Remina, I picked this up for $12.84, and then with tax and everything, it came out to like $13 something. But that's a really good deal for this book, because this normally goes for like $17 or like $16. Even like on RightStuff at the time, it was like, it was more expensive on RightStuff than it was on Amazon. So, it was just a book I wanted to check out for a while, because it's just one of Junji Ito's single stories. Because I'm not too big a fan of his short story collections. I'll probably get more into that in a future video. But I strongly prefer his longer form single stories. And plus, it just has like that sci-fi kind of bend to it. And I just wanted to check this out, but I didn't want to pay $17 for it. So I got lucky, waited around, got it for $12. So yeah, this is just all the stuff I got on Amazon. Hopefully Goodnight Poon Poon Volume 3 comes back in stock soon. So this is just the first part of it. Not a lot of stuff here, but I guess we'll get into the rest of the stuff, show you where I got everything else from. Alright, so here's everything that I picked up from Books A Million and Barnes & Noble. Now, the way I picked these up, I didn't just go into the store and pick it up like that. The way I did it was I ordered these online through the in-store pickup option that they have, since I have a Books A Million and a Barnes & Noble both close by me. And the reason I did it that way was because Volume 9 and 10 of Dr. Stone were just out of stock everywhere. They're both still out of stock right now, because that's where the newest season of the anime just ended off. And so the only place that had them in stock was my local Books A Million. And I was gonna just go in there and pay the full retail price, but then I just kind of looked on their website and found out that all these volumes, you can order them from their website for $1 less. It was $8.79 per volume, as opposed to the $9.99 per volume you'd get if you went in person. So right off that's a good deal. So you just get all that stuff for just slightly less than you would, and then you go pick it up that day. But the main reason I did it was because they had a coupon offering for 15% off your first order, which ended up being a really good deal, because I got all of these volumes for $8.79 each. But then I put the 15% off coupon, and with that, they all ended up being about $7.50 each. So these were all literally bought at RightStuff prices, but I just got to pick them up from my local store, and they had volumes that RightStuff did not have in stock, including a few of these Twilight Princess volumes. The one thing I didn't pick up, though, from in-store pickup was just the reboot. And that was because I was going into Barnes & Noble to pick up Volume 2 of Twilight Princess, because my Books A Million didn't have it. And I just saw that guy sitting on the shelf a few days before it came out online, and just decided to pick it up to read it early. But the joke's on me, because I still haven't gotten around to reading it yet. But I've been really, really, really liking Dr. Stone. Started off kind of slow, but then once it got into the Stone Wars stuff, it really started picking up. And all this stuff after the Stone Wars, I'm on Volume 12 right now. But it is just getting so much more interesting. It's moving at just such a quicker pace now, and I'm really starting to dig it now. I'm just only halfway through Volume 12. I haven't gotten this far yet. I just got Volume 16 too, that just came out, but that's going to be next month's haul. And I still haven't read this guy yet. I'm looking forward to reading it though. The Bayak, I cannot pronounce that guy's name, but yeah, he was one of my favorite characters from the anime. Just that whole story of everything, how they got back to the Earth from space, and that's just a neat story. I want to eventually read that. And Twilight Princess, this is just another series that I picked up volume 1 from my local used bookstore. Read through that and just like realized how much better this Zelda manga is compared to the other Zelda mangas, because I got the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga a few months ago, or like probably almost a year ago now at this point, and read through that, and my god, I did not like the Ocarina of Time manga. I'm sorry to anybody who does, but I was just I could just not get into that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga. It's just the story was just way too rushed. Everything just had too much of just like, I know it's like a manga for kids, but like kids can handle more than that stuff, man. They just lightened it up way too much. And just the story itself just didn't make sense. Like, I just remember like reading each chapter every night, and it's just like nothing connects. It's all just like episodic chapters and stuff, and they try to like throw in like new story elements, like apparently young Link went to the market town sometime when he was a kid from the Kakariko forest, which I don't know. The first time he's supposed to go into town was to see Zelda, so I don't get how this worked. But he went to town, found Volvagia, the dragon boss from the Fire Temple, like as Volvagia was like a little baby dragon, raised it, but then he grew up and Ganondorf made the baby dragon all evil, so now Link has to kill it. It's like, I get what they're trying to do, but it's I don't know, it just wasn't that good. I did not like the Ocarina of Time manga. I could go on and on about that. But the Twilight Princess manga, however, is looking to, shape up pretty well. I've only gotten through volume 1 yet. I haven't started on all these guys yet. But I'm looking forward to it. This is like a series that, since when the Wii first came out with Twilight Princess, I was like 12, 13 at the time. So I was just like, I loved the shit out of Twilight Princess when I was a kid. And I wish they had this manga back then, because I would have loved this stuff as a teenager. But yeah, so this is just everything that I got from Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. I don't know why I keep saying Barnes & Noble first, when literally all I got here from Barnes & Noble was just these 2 books. Everything else is from Books A Million. So yeah, it's just Dr. Stone and Twilight Princess. So yeah, let's get on to the next batch of stuff. Okay, so here's the next batch of stuff. This is all of the rare manga that I picked up in the past couple months. This is stuff that I picked up from comic book stores, of all places. And so some of you may know that comic book stores, they can be kind of hit and miss. Like, sometimes they just won't have any manga at all, or sometimes they'll just have like some old kind of reject mangas and stuff that nobody really wants. Or sometimes they will have manga, but they'll be charging full price for it. So this was from 2 stores that I went to. These 2 were from a store in Jacksonville, and it was just a random comic book store that I didn't know anything about. I just saw them on Google, and they're on the way to another place I was going to, so I thought I'd swing in there, not hoping for much. And they had, it was one of those comic book stores that was mostly comics. There was just boxes and boxes of comics everywhere, and the only manga they had was just like on these tables. They had these like, they weren't even in boxes, just kind of these random stacks of manga just kind of sitting on the tables in between the boxes of comics. But the guy was only charging half price off of a retail price for everything. So I kind of dug through it, and then just, wouldn't you know it, I just randomly came across Volume 1 of 20th Century Boys and Volume 1 of Vagabond, which this is like a really nice find to just see out in the wild, or not without even trying to. And I got both of these just for like $6.50 each, because their sticker price is $13. So yeah, it was just $6.50 each for these. And these are, I'm so glad I picked these up, because I got, the perfect edition of 20th Century Boys, so I'm just going to read it through that. But, if I see any more single volumes of 20th Century Boys just out in the wild, I'll definitely pick them up, because they just look nice, man. Like, I knew they looked nice, but I didn't realize how nice they really do look. And this volume I got is in, like, really, really nice condition. I think it's like a 2nd or 3rd printing. It's not a 1st printing. Unlike this guy, this right here is a 1st printing. But, yeah, this is just, everybody knows 20th Century Boys. It's Neo Kurosawa's classic. It's got these really iconic spines. I just love the spines on here. They're really cool, but I don't think I'm going to try to really collect all the single volumes of 20th Century Boys, just because I want to read the story itself. And I'm just not much into paying, overpriced charges for stuff that I can just pay regular prices for. Same thing kind of goes with Vagabond. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever really get into Vagabond just because of how long the series is and how it's still not technically completed. It's like 37 volumes long. It's just, that's a big commitment. But this volume 1, it's like, I'll definitely be reading this because this just has really, really nice artwork. Just really, once again, really nice condition for what it is, for just being a used comic in a comic book store, or a used manga in a comic book store in the middle of Jacksonville. So I was really shocked to pick these up for the price I got. And these guys down here, this were from a comic book store in my hometown that I was visiting. You know, I was there visiting a friend and just like saw this place on Google and decided to go in there. The first time I went in, I didn't find anything, but then a week or two later, I was back down there and thought I would check it out again, and just randomly came across Volume 5, 6, and Volume 8 of Vagabond. And this Volume 8, it's not a first edition since it has that guy in the spine, but it's still in its original sealing, which is just so, I don't know, that's so cool that I was able to find just this Vagabond, its original sealing from like what is it, like 2003 or something this stuff came out. So yeah, that's really cool. I don't know if I'm going to read all these since it's just kind of random volumes strewn about. I guess I would just have to get the VisBig if I really wanted to read Vagabond. It's definitely a cool looking series. Like, I appreciate the series, and I'm really glad I found these single volumes just because they look really nice, and it's just kind of cool having some rare manga in your collection. These, yeah, this one isn't actually the first print. It's got the editor's choice on there. And yeah, just all three of these are just in like perfect condition. I'm surprised. So yeah, this is just, I want to throw these in here just to kind of show off, not to completely write off, don't completely write off your local comic book store. Because sometimes, you might not get lucky sometimes, but sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll be able to find Vagabond and 20th Century Boys. Like these Vagabonds were just retail price though. Their retail price is only $10 each. And $10 each for Vagabond singles, especially ones in their original sealing, like, that's a pretty good deal. So yeah, just wanted to show off these rare mangas I got this month. Alright, let's move on to the next batch. Alright, so this is me from the future who was editing the video and realized that I never talked about this Shonen Jump magazine that I had just right in the center of the big group photo that I'm using on the thumbnail. So I figured I would record this really fast to just kind of explain this volume a little bit. So yeah, this is what I picked up from the same comic book store in Jacksonville that I got the 20th Century Boys and Vagabond. They had a bunch of old Shonen Jump magazines, and this one is from, you can see, April of 2004. It's, yeah, just actually had its birthday, I guess. But, yeah, I just picked this one up because this Shonen Jump has, as you can see, it has Yu-Gi-Oh! On it. But I'll open up the table of contents here just so you can kind of see all the bangers that this magazine has. It's got Shaman King, Kira no Go, Naruto, One Piece. And this is the one I didn't realize at the time, but the Ultimate Muscle manga is like super valuable nowadays and like super in demand. So this one has a preview of Ultimate Muscle, which I didn't realize at the time when I was getting it, but now after looking at it, it's like, oh wow, that's actually really cool. And yeah, it also just has Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 chapters of that, of like from the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, I just saw this. He was only charging like $2 for it, so I just went ahead and picked it up while I was in there. Yeah, this is the first like Shonen Jump magazine I've ever gotten. As you can see, it's not in a perfect condition. I will show the pages here so you can reek in terror to see that these guys are past yellowing. This isn't a browning. We're not talking about yellowing, we're talking about browning, man. But yeah, nowhere near perfect condition, but for $2, and plus I just really like the cover of it. I normally just kind of keep it facing up, displayed on my bookshelf, just because I like Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just got that just because it has all the big hitters in there. But yeah, next time I'm in that store, I'll probably pick up a few more Shonen Jumps that are in nicer condition. So yeah, I just wanted to record this really quick and throw it into the video just so nobody's wondering what was up with that big Shonen Jump in the picture in the start. So okay, moving on. Alright, so here is my largest chunk of the haul. This was the stuff that I got from RightStuff Anime. So yeah, a lot of people already know about RightStuff. It's just kind of the big online mega store for anime and manga, and they always just have really, really good prices. You know, good deals if you want to get stuff in bulk. So that's kind of the best way that I kind of go about getting stuff on RightStuff. It's just when I got a lot of stuff, I want to get all at once, because otherwise you need like $75 for free shipping anyway. So it kind of just encourages that. But yeah, I got here volumes 2 through 9 of Inuyashiki. I was gonna get volume 10, but volume 10 has just been completely out of stock on RightStuff for a couple months now. So I was gonna get it from Amazon, because Amazon had it out of stock, but it had like the it's gonna be back in stock on this date. But then that in-stock date just changed from that to just the status of just currently unavailable, as in they don't even have any third-party sellers selling it right now. So I don't know what's going on with Inuyashiki, but Volume 10, just like Volume 3 of Goodnight Poon Poon, is just completely MIA. So yeah, I don't want to cause any rumors or anything, but I am kind of have a feeling that, like, since Inuyashiki was written by the same guy that did Gantz, and if you guys know what the deal with Gantz is, it's not a good situation for that. So if Inuyashiki follows the same trend that Gantz did, these single volumes right here might one day, like maybe like a few years from now, they might be worth like a lot. Who knows? or at least just they're going to be really rare. So I don't know if they're ever going to do like an omnibus for this series, since it's not the most popular series in the world and it's kind of short. But yeah, that's why I just wanted to pick them up now while they're still available, because you never know. Because sometimes like stuff will just randomly disappear, just like Inuyashiki Volume 10 did. But I got really lucky and found this comic book store in New York City was selling it on their website. You know, it was full retail and everything, but it's in like perfect condition. And it was just a lot better doing, you know, helping out this small business instead of having to go through a scalper. So yeah, I got really lucky and found that just in the nick of time before it completely disappeared. I'm pretty sure I got the last copy they had in stock. So yeah, Inuyashiki 2 through 10. I got volume 1 from my used bookstore right halfway through that, and was just got really interested in it. It's like not the most popular series in the world. It's kind of got mixed opinions, but I just wanted to give it a shot for myself because it's just a really cool premise that I think I can get into. I like the idea of just this old guy getting robotic superpowers, and you know, I don't know the full story of it yet, but I just know this artwork is really, really nice. It's got, you know, it's the guy that did Gantz, so the artwork is just perfect. And plus, it's only a 10-volume series, and I really do like the shorter series. They're just so much easier to collect and easier to read. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started on that. And then the next thing over here is volume 2 through 9 of 20th Century Boys. I got volume 1 from Amazon a few months ago, read through literally just the first chapter of it. Just from that first chapter alone, it was enough to kind of make me realize, like, okay, I want to read this series, because like I already read through Monster by Naoki Urasawa, and that's just one of my favorite manga series that I've read through so far. It's just he's got really nice pacing and just really nice art style and storytelling, and I'm curious to see how that works in this new kind of story here. You know, it's about a secret organization in Japan or something. I'm not too sure, but that's, you know, it's the best way to go into a new series, is not knowing a lot. So that way everything will be surprising me. And yeah, it's got up to 9 because 10 and 11 weren't in stock, and honestly 10 and 11 are the newest ones, so I don't have to worry about them going away anytime soon. And what I think I'm going to do, since it's going to take me a while to read through the series, I think I'm going to wait till June for 21st Century Boys to come out, and then just order 10 and 11 and the new one just all at once, just to complete the series like that. Since, you know, I know June sounds like a long time to wait to get those, but I think by June, I don't think I'll be finishing this up by June, because I still got to read some other stuff before I get caught up on, you know, 20th Century Boys. But I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. These perfect editions really are just perfect. They got these just really nice holographic lettering, or I guess not holographic, but some kind of, you know, whatever you call that, and just really nice, just popping artwork on the covers. And yeah, I got the single volume from that comic book store. It'd be cool to like get all the single volumes, but that just takes so much more work and so much more money. And I just want to read the story itself. I don't have to go on a wild goose chase just to be able to read this legendary story. Maybe in the future, after I read it and I'm like super obsessed in it or something, I might try getting some more of the single volumes, but right now these perfect editions are just fine, because that way they'll match with the monster perfect editions I already got on my shelf. And so yeah, I got that, and then I also just got No Longer Human by Junji Ito, because it's just, RightStuff had the best price on it from every other place. It was a book I wanted to check out for a while, but didn't really have the opportunity to get it, but had the opportunity since I was ordering some other stuff, just threw it in there. And I'm looking forward to reading this, because it's just, it's by Junji Ito, but the original story, it's based off of a novel by somebody else. So it's kind of set up where, somebody's doing the story and then Junji's just illustrating it and doing the artwork. And that right there just really gets me interested, because I am not a huge fan of Junji Ito's storytelling. He has really good concepts and ideas, but sometimes the stories themselves that he tells are just kind of, I don't know, they just kind of fall flat for me sometimes. So I'm really curious to see how he works with just somebody else doing the story part of it, and him just illustrating and doing the artwork. And plus it's just the whole, dark, introspective, I wasn't mean to be human and stuff, just that whole thing, kind of like how Goodnight Poon Poon is that I'm reading through right now, that I'm really loving. And, it's just, the book itself is just beautiful too, and I love this back cover on here, and just the, it's got the little dust cover for the, these guys, those guys in there. Yeah, it's just a cool book I wanted to pick up for a while, and, decided to throw it in with the rest of the stuff I was wearing. So here's all these, nice, really, really colorful books. Got a big colorful patch of books from RightStuff here. Yeah, it's just all the RightStuff, stuff I got here. So yeah, let's move on to the next stuff. All right, so here's all the used manga that I got online from eBay, Mercari, and Manga Swap on Reddit. These case closed I got from a seller on eBay that was selling all 7 of these volumes for $5 each, so it's $35 including shipping and everything. And it's a good deal, but as you can see, some of these are not in perfect condition. You got sun bleaching there, old price tags, laminates coming up there. Really bad sun bleaching on this guy. I don't know what happened to this, but I'm not too concerned over quality of the stuff themselves. I'm just more concerned of whether I can still read the story. And I just got these because Case Closed is one of the animes that I just really grew up with. Back when it first aired on Adult Swim, I was like in middle school back then, the tail end of middle school. And at the time, all the anime I really knew was just like Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. Which I still really like the Pokemon anime, but so the Case Closed was like the first anime that I discovered that just kind of opened my mind to what all anime could be. It doesn't just have to be action fighting stuff. They can be really cool stuff that makes you think. So, Case Closed, if anybody doesn't know, it's about a high school detective that gets some mysterious poison from these mysterious gang members that he just so happens to eavesdrop on him at the wrong time and hears something. So to stop him from going reporting them to the police, they knock him out and give him some experimental poison that's supposed to kill him, but for some reason it shrinks his body down to be like how it was when he was a kid. Which, just doesn't make any sense, but it's that's what makes the show fun, though. And then, he has a scientist friend that he meets back up with, and he tells him what happened, and this guy makes him all kinds of gadgets that he uses to solve mysteries with Detective Richard Moore, which is the English name. I don't know the Japanese names for all of them. I know Rachel is Ron, and I guess Richard Moore was Morugi or something. I cannot remember. It's been so long since I've watched the subs of Case Closed, or Detective Conan, I guess it would be. But this is just something I loved. I would try to watch every episode on Adult Swim. I would tape the episodes because sometimes they would come on school nights, so I'd tape them to watch the next day after school. And just me and my brother just really loved this series back when we were growing up, and I wanted to get back into it. But all the old English dub episodes that I grew up with, they're just so hard to find nowadays. They're not on the Funimation app or anything. They're not on Crunchyroll. I think Crunchyroll just only has the new episodes. It's on to episode 800 or something, which is pretty crazy to think that this show's been running longer than The Simpsons, even though it's only been airing since 1996. So it's just a really interesting series of how hugely popular it is over in Japan and just how barely popular it is over here. So yeah, I just wanted to get these guys since I wanted to get some volumes. But I didn't want to have to pay full price, but I didn't really realize that RightStuff has all these case closed volumes, like almost every single one up to 77. So in hindsight, I probably should have just got these from RightStuff. But I like helping out independent sellers on eBay sometimes, which is why I got this Yu-Gi-Oh! 3-in-1 of the first 3 volumes of the, like this is the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! That takes place before the stuff that they English dubbed, like all the stuff that would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist. This is like the Season 0 kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the stuff that happens before the whole Duelist style and everything. And this is back when the show is really different from what I heard. You know, it's got like a lot more like just not quite all the stuff for kids and stuff. So I just wanted to check it out because there's a guy in Mercari just selling it for $12. You know, no shipping and handling, it's $12 flat. So, you know, I could have technically got a better deal on RightStuff, but you know, I wanted to help out the independent seller. So got it from that guy. And then for the Dragon Ball Vizbigs, this Dragon Ball Z was one of the first manga series that I read through back when I first got into manga. But I read it in a weird way. You can see here, where I only got the volumes I needed, since like I watched the anime for some episodes. So I watched the anime for the first like Raditz arc and everything, and I had volume 2 from a used bookstore, so I never got volume 1 of Vizbigs. I just got 2 and 3, but then for volume 4 I found the same 3 volumes that are in that volume in my used bookstore and just got those instead and read those just to save money. And then I just got, you know, up to the end with the Vizbigs up through Cell and Boo. And yeah, I really liked it, since I just never really got fully into this show as a kid because I could just never watch the episodes in order because of how it aired on Adult Swim, or how it aired on Toonami. And plus, you know, I was a kid at the time, I didn't have a high attention span. Like, the best way I got the experience of series at the time was just from playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai on the PS2, because the story mode on that just follows up to the Cell Saga. But yeah, it's just a really fun, just action series. Not a lot of logic or anything crazy, but just a lot of fun action. This is why I got into I read the Dragon Ball manga after the Z manga. And for that, I watched the first part of the anime and then just picked up from season, you know, volume 3, 4, and 5 with the Vizbigs. So for the longest time, this was just kind of my wonky, incomplete Dragon Ball Vizbig collection. And, yeah, sorry, my cats are going a little crazy right now. Yeah, so that was kind of it for a long time, but then I went on Reddit Manga Swap, and this guy was just like, just so happened to be selling the 3 volumes that I needed, which is just volume 1 and 2 of the original Dragon Ball, and volume 4 of Dragon Ball Z Vizbig, and I was just really happy to get these for a good deal, because I want to complete my Vizbig collection of Dragon Ball, but I don't want to pay full price on it, because I really like Dragon Ball, but I don't like it that much, where I'm willing to spend like full price just for something that I've already read and watched. So yeah, I just was able to find these for a good price for like only like 10 or 12 bucks each. It was like 35 for all 3 of these with shipping and everything. You know, they definitely are used. Volume 2, I kind of want to show this off, that if you get this up in the right light here, why is it so hard to do? Yeah, if you get it up in the right light, you can see that somebody traced over this with a piece of paper. Like, you know, where they wanted to draw the cover, so put a piece of paper over it and just kind of traced over the lines there. You can kind of see that. Which, you know, it definitely tracks from the quality of it, but it adds a lot more personality. And that's kind of my thing with buying used manga that's been slightly damaged, is that I don't really mind it so much if it's like an old book. Because it just kind of, you know, because that's what I like about collecting some of these old manga series, is that it's kind of like a time capsule of the early 2000s in a way. Because all these case closed these are all first printings from like 2003, 2005. So these like are really old books that are just still around, and they've ended up in my collection now. You know, the Yu-Gi-Oh's a newer print book, that one's fine, but these Dragon Balls, that kind of all just have their own unique kind of damage to them, but you know, it just kind of gives it a personality. It shows that the person you got it from got their enjoyment out of it, and now you're going to get the enjoyment out of it. So yeah, I just want to show off all these. This is the stuff I got from used online. Alright, so let's move on to the next stuff, which is all the stuff that I got used from my used bookstore. Alright, and so last but not least, this is just the small batch of stuff that I picked up from my local used bookstore that I have in town. In my town, I have a Second and Charles, which I think is owned by Books A Million. It's just kind of the place they use for all their overstock used stuff. But yeah, sometimes you can go in there and get really good deals on manga. Like a lot of stuff in my collection that I'll be discussing when I'm showing the full collection in the next video. But a lot of the stuff that I got was from the used bookstore, and a lot of that stuff was like $3 to $5 a volume for some of the stuff, which is yeah, what I got here. I was able to got really lucky and found the first 3 volumes of Bakuman, which is a series that I've been wanting to get into, but like with everything else, I didn't feel like paying full price or buying the box set all at once. So I found just volumes 1, 2, and 3. Each of these were like $3.50, $4 each. So yeah, they only ended up being like, you know, like $10, $12 for these 3. Then got Food Wars Volume 1 and 2. These are both also just like $3.50 each. So I got those for a really good price. I don't know about if I'm going to finish Food Wars. I kind of just got Food Wars because I was kind of wanting to switch up things in my collection. As you can see, I read a lot of like seinen and like shonen stuff. So I wanted to read something that has kind of more of a comedy kind of angle to it. And it's just all about food. So it sounds kind of interesting. And plus, you know, it's like only $3.50 a volume. You can't really get a better deal than that to start the series with. So I just got 1 and 2, and this is another series that's up to like volume, I think it's complete now at 36, but 36 volumes is a lot of volumes to read about food. But who knows, maybe I'll read these 2 volumes and really like it and want to complete it. But I don't know, I've heard a lot of mixed things about it, but I'm looking forward to making my own opinion about it. And then these 2 I found at the used bookstore from the next town over. These are just randomly, it's 2 Detective Conan like manga volumes, just the full-on Japanese. So right now this is the 2 Japanese mangas that I own right now, which really fits because Detective Conan, like I just explained in the last batch, like Case Closed is one of my favorite series of all time. So it's cool having these guys just in the full original Japanese. And from what I could tell, I think these actually might be like first prints. Like I can't understand anything it says on there, but they kind of, they look like they might be like the original first prints from the 90s. So that's really nice looking. And then last but not least is the Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, the Anna manga, which, yeah, I just kind of got it because they had it. And it's just kind of a weird random thing that I didn't know if I'll ever see again. So I decided to pick it up. It's, yeah, it's one of these mangas that's just frames from the movie with bubbles added onto it. But I've never actually seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. This came out after I got out of the series when I was a kid. So I never watched it. So, this was only like $4. Decided just to pick it up because, when am I going to see that again in the used shelf? So I just kind of do that with any kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I see laying around, except for the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Just as long as it's OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist, I always try to pick up what I can find. So yeah, this is just all the stuff I got from the used bookstore. Same used bookstore that I got all the volume 1s for all the other series that I got. And yeah, I want to kind of close things off here with this because, yeah, if you have any kind of used bookstore like Second and Charles, Half Price Books, there's all kinds of different ones for different regions. So just whatever you can find, just give it a shot because you never know what you can find in your used bookstore. And a lot of times, like at least for my case, I got lucky and found volume 1s for, like for Dr. Stone. I found the first 3 volumes of Dr. Stone there for like only $12 for all 3 of them. And now Dr. Stone's is like one of my favorite new series right now. Same thing with the Inuyashiki, got volume 1 there. Goodnight Poon Poon, I got volume 1 and 2 from the used bookstore, and now Goodnight Poon Poon's like my favorite manga series right now. I got, for my Attack on Titan stuff I'll show up in the next video, I got everything from 12, like, up to 12 I got all from the used bookstore, except for volumes 1, 4, and 5. Everything besides that I got from the used bookstore. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of end this video off with just, the best piece of manga collecting advice I can give you is just find a good used bookstore in your area and just kind of frequent it. And you never know what you'll find. Yeah, so just basically to wrap it up, do use in-store pickup when you have the chance. You can get stuff that you might not find. Check out comic book stores because sometimes you'll get really lucky with comic book stores like I did. Always keep an eye out on Amazon for any kind of good deals. And especially keep an eye out for any stuff that might be going out of print or out of stock, because sometimes, like with like I learned with Volume 3 of Goodnight Poon Poon, is like, if you miss your chance, you might not have another chance for a long time. So, you know, if you have the money and everything, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes just has that feeling that a series is like getting really popular and it might be getting harder to get. So just make sure you do that kind of stuff, and then of course good old RightStuff and all that. So yeah, so I guess that's my manga haul for the month of February and March. Kind of a long rambly video. I'm still getting new. I'm still new to this, getting used to it. But yeah, just wanted to get started off here with that. So, all right. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Get some just nice B-roll of my cats here. Next video is going to be of my manga collection, and then I'll probably do a haul for April at the end of this month. But another thing I'm hoping to do is to do reading logs, where I'm gonna try to do weekly videos to kind of talk about what I've been reading through, just since I got a lot of stuff to read through here now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video when I got my collection a lot more organized. Right now my collection is a big mess right now. So alright guys, see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.